Welcome to The Big Idea, Voice of Healthcare's flagship series spotlighting pioneering minds and critical conversation that are shaping the future of Indian healthcare. We are coming to you from BEAT 2025 National Cardiovascular Summit and Awards, where the nation's top clinician leaders are coming together to discuss breakthroughs and tackle the most urgent challenges in heart and vascular health. Joining us now is a truly distinguished voice in cardiology and vascular medicine, Dr. Professor Narendra Nath Khanna. He is the founder and chairman of the Asia Pacific Vascular Society, senior consultant in cardiology and coordinator of vascular sciences at Indraprastha Apollo, New Delhi, and advisor to the Apollo groups of hospital. Dr. Khanna, it's an honor to have you with us in The Big Idea. Let's begin with a broad but important perspective.
Thank you for calling me here.
Thank you so much, sir. So, with your vast experience in both cardiology and vascular medicine, how would you define the evolving relationship between heart health and vascular health? Why is it critical to view them as interconnected?
Okay, so that's a very good question. And actually, many of the doctors also don't understand this. You know, heart actually pumps blood into the main vessel, which is a vascular highway called as aorta, and every other branch, including the arteries to the heart, which causes heart attack, are branches which come out from this highway, which is like an exit highway and exits. So any disease of the heart has the same risk factors for developing vascular disease anywhere else. So they are not separate, they are actually one continuum. Heart is pumping blood into the blood vessels, the major being aorta, and all the other blood vessels are branches of this aorta or exit vessels from this aorta. We have sort of become so focused on one artery, which is the heart artery known as coronary artery, which produces angina or heart attack. But in that sense, we have forgotten that the diseases or the risk factors for, which are there for causing heart attacks are practically the same, which are there for the entire circulation or vasculature. And if you miss at them, if you only look at the heart and don't look at the vascular disease in general, you're going to miss out on many strokes, many renal failures, many amputations, many ischemia in the gut and also renal failures, which could have been prevented if you only looked at those vessels as well. And both of them actually come together. They are the same continuum. So that's why it's very important they are integrated. And that is why the older term of cardiovascular medicine was the right term. And today the newer term is angiology, where we don't talk about heart blood vessel or peripheral vessels. It is the blood vessel in general, and we call it angiology.
So, sir, India is witnessing a growing burden of vascular disease, from peripheral artery diseases to stroke and aortic conditions. In your opinion, what are the biggest drivers behind this trend?
Okay, again, as I said, peripheral vascular disease, a lot of people, doctors also think it's only the disease of the leg. It is not so. Peripheral vascular disease in general means any disease in vasculature apart from the coronary vessels, which are the blood vessels which come out of aorta and supply the heart muscle. Now, the risk factors are similar. The risk factors, the common ones are diabetes, hypertension, high cholesterol or, dyslipidemia, smoking or taking tobacco in any form. So these are the common ones, and the other uncommon ones, which are obesity, which are sedentary habits, and then it is stress, lack of green leafy vegetables and food, and also it's related to age. So these are specific risk factors which are more common in India. And because of this, the disease is progressing very fast. And two more risk factors which have now recently been attributed, they are poor quality of air and also chemicals, especially pesticides in the food we eat, and also lack of sleep. So these are the 12 risk factors for developing peripheral vascular disease, whether it's in the aorta or legs or brain or heart or anywhere.
So, thank you for bringing that to our attention. Many people are still unaware of the signs of vascular disease. So, what are some early symptoms or risk factors that people should watch out?
Okay. So now, peripheral vascular disease, as I told you, it involves different organs. So the early signs and symptoms would be related to those organs. The most common, if you look at, we talk about the disease of the leg. And here, the most common symptom is that if one is walking, he develops cramps or pain or ache in the leg or in the thigh or back. And many a times it's attributed to sciatica or low back pain or varicose vein. Actually, the problem is in the circulation of the leg. So this is a very common symptom. If somebody has this, one has to understand it is a reflection that this same patient has disease in the heart and in the brain. There is a 90% correlation of peripheral vascular disease with disease in the heart and the brain, which can cause heart attacks and strokes. The second second symptom, which is related to peripheral vascular disease in the brain, is a history where, suddenly, if transiently somebody has a transient paralysis or slurring of speech or forgetfulness or dizziness or blackouts. If you have this sort of a symptom, it is known as a transient ischemic attack. It is an attack or similar to an angina, but if you don't treat it in time, you actually end up with a stroke, and it's related to the blockages in the arteries which go from the heart to the brain, especially the carotid arteries or vertebral arteries. Third could be if the disease is involving, your gut arteries, then many people who have pain in abdomen after eating food, again this may, and with the accompanying weight loss, again this is a sign of vascular disease in the gut. So very simple way to actually know whether you have this disease or not. But it's good not to ignore as, indigestion or some clouding or, sciatica or just muscle cramps. This is an early sign that you may be having severe disease in your peripheral vessels or also in your heart arteries.
Having discussed all of that, let's move to a quick fire segment. What is one habit you follow to maintain your own vascular and cardiac health?
For me, eating less food, sleeping well, and meditation and exercise. These are very important. Meditation takes care of your stress. Less food takes care of your atherosclerosis. Good sleep takes care of a lot of repair mechanisms in your body.
One common myth about vascular disease you would like to burst?
That it is uncommon in India. It is one of the most common disease in India and across the world. India has the largest amount of vascular disease.
The most rewarding part of your journey as a clinician and leader?
The most rewarding, I would say too, personally, when I did my father's angioplasty at the age of 87 years, and in general, when I have been able to now train almost 500 doctors from India and abroad and see them doing very well in their own countries and centers.
One change you would like to see in India's vascular healthcare system?
Good awareness of vascular health and having a national vascular registry, which we are working very closely with the government.
A quote or a mantra that keeps you grounded?
That, we are all humans and we are very frail. So we have to understand that we have to keep our egos really down, be thankful to God every day that we have got this opportunity to work and serve patients and touch their souls.
So thank you so much for your exceptional insights and for being such a strong voice in the healthcare industry.
Thank you very much, Vaishnavi.
Thank you
It
so
was
much.
very nice talking to you.
Thank you.